Hey guys, welcome to Big Zam reviews, where our reviews are more bigger and a lot more Zammier than the rest. This is our very first review that we've ever done. It's a brand new channel, and I figured there's a lot of there's like a lot of like reviews on YouTube, like toy reviews and stuff. But I want this channel to be a little bit of everything, because a lot of channels touch upon one thing. Like maybe one channel will do Lego, one channel will do Pokemon, one channel will do Figmas. I'm gonna do all three of those. I'm gonna do Pokemon stuff, a lot of Lego stuff, and a few Figmas now and then. Now our very first review ever is going to be a Figma review of the Art's Thanatos from Persona. Persona 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. In fact, I think it is. Um, it was one of my first RPGs too, and it really means a lot to me. And the game actually made me cry. It was one of the first games that actually made me cry. And in the game you have arcanas, and in each arcana you can get a persona, and persona is like sort of like a Pokemon that you can get. It's like a little monster that you can send into battle. If you max out the Death Arcana, you can get Thanatos, the ultimate supreme god of death. Now this right here is Thanatos. We have him in figure form, and he looks exactly like how he did in the game too. We're just gonna give you a 360 of Thanatos. As you see, he's got those nice coffins. So this is Thanatos. He looks really cool like this. We're going to show you the entire figure in depth, but first we're going to start off with just the stand. So in order to take Thanatos off of the stand, unfortunately, you're going to have to take off the coffins too. The only way that Thanatos can have his coffins on is if he's on the stand. So first thing that you have to do is take off these parts right here that are linked with a metal chain, which is really nice that you actually get a metal chain, not just a fixed position chain, so those can dangle around if you wish. So after you are done taking off these metal parts right here, you can see them dangling, go ahead and take off these two translucent parts and then lift off the coffins. After that, you can just detach Thanatos from right here on the back. Detach that, and then you have the Thanatos figure. Now here's the stand, and the stand, in my opinion, is really nice, but of course it has its flaws. The stand detaches from this base right here, and has a really nice pattern. It looks like a checkerboard pattern with the Arcana symbol on the front, and it looks really nice. I actually really like how they put such detail into a stand, and not just make it a clear stand or a black stand or something like that. It looks really nice, and it's definitely a good inclusion for how much you're paying for this. Here we have a clear stand. The bottom is on a ratchet joint, so you hear that snapping sound when you move it back and forth. Now, these parts up here are actually really loose, and you might want to get a screwdriver and tighten these bolts in so it's a lot harder to turn it. So if you want Thanatos to get in some flying positions so it looks like he's levitating, you pretty much have to get a screwdriver on this part and make it have more friction. This part right here, we have two little pegs. I don't know if you can see that well, but you have two pegs that go into Thanatos' back. These parts can also move, and of course I also put a screwdriver to this to make it have more friction. So the lever right here attaches right here on the stand. Really nice. It can detach if you're too hard and rough with it, but I say it works well. It's a good stand. I'm glad they included a stand in the first place. So I really like that. Now on to the accessories. There's very few accessories within this set. By few, I mean very few. We have a total of 4 accessories. You have an extra open palm. Looks really nice. That's your extra open palm. You have an extra closed fist, which can be used as a fist or to hold a sword. Speaking of sword, we have one of my favorite parts of this model actually is the sword. It's got a really nice metallic sheen to it. It's really thin. It's really nice. They even have these razor edges right here, and it just looks really nice. It's actually really long. It's a big sword, and you can just attach it to a hand like so. One second. So you can attach it into a closed hand like that. Thanatos can go slang some shadows with it. Now, I usually keep this on the figure, but I guess you can count it as an accessory, but it is a sword holster, so you can hold your sword into one of these things. Now, very sadly, and a lot of people complain about this, and so do I, the sword holster right here can't actually fit the sword into it. Just doesn't work. But they were nice enough to include the top of the sword right here. So you can put that into the holster, and it looks like there's a whole sword inside of here when there's actually not. Next up, we're going to get on to the most important part of Thanatos, if you don't count the coffins, and that is Thanatos himself. The figure is actually quite large. It stands at about 6 inches. Thanatos has a lot of articulation as well. Up here you can see that his shoulders are on roll joints that are actually pretty stiff, but at the same time they work really well. His arm can also go up and down like so, and go side to side like so. See that? Now his elbow joints, sorry for the bad quality right here, but his elbow joints can go to right there, and they can bend back to around right there. So that's really nice as well. And now for the hands. It's going to be kind of hard to show you this, but his hands can go up like that, like all the way up. Then they can bend back, and it says they're on a... Oh, they're actually not on a ball joint. I thought they were. So they can pretty much go all the way up and all the way down like normal wrist should. Thanatos also has some ab or waist articulation. This right here, he can crouch forward quite a bit. It really represents the character because in the actual game, Thanatos is always sort of crouched over. And he can bend back, so we can go back and forth, back and forth. It actually looks pretty cool. Now for the head. The head has a really nice detail. It's got a really nice metallic sheen to it. Not as metallic as the sword, but still looks really nice. So his head can twist a full 360, which is actually surprising. And his head is on a really weird but different, nice joint. To the point where it goes out, and then it can go back in, like so. So his neck sort of extends and stuff. So when it's not extended, it doesn't have a lot of articulation, but when you do extend it, it can really just turn wherever you want it to go. And also a really nice inclusion, they included jaw opening. So you can actually open the jaw that wide. That's really wide. I don't usually like to open it that much because I'm afraid I'll break it, but it can also close to about right there. Now we have the skirt right here. Now this is one of my only real complaints with the set, but it's really not that much of a complaint, honestly. This the skirt just wobbles around. It's not fixed or anything, but it just sort of wobbles around, and the fact that it does that sort of bothers me. But then again, I'm fine with it because without that you wouldn't be able to get to the legs to move the legs. So speaking of the legs, you can bend the legs to about right there, and bend it forward, and of course it can all go back to around right there. It could go farther, but the sort of skirt thing is blocking the way. Now if we're on to paint detail, you have really nice detail right over here. Really nice detail on the skirt. Got the skull and crossbones right there. The whole chest and waist area looks really nice. You have all these red belts with a gold touch to it. Of course, you just have the white gloves, but they're not plain white. They have sort of a texture to them. And on the back, it's going to be really hard to see, but he almost has some sort of back issues, I guess I'd say. You can see the bumps on his back because, you know, he's sort of a hunchback sort of character. So you can really see the nice detail that they put on the back. So overall, the articulation, design, and paint job on Thanatos himself looks really good, and I'm really proud of what they did. Now on for my personal favorite part of the entire thing, the coffins. There is a total of 8 coffins on this translucent sort of guard thing, and each coffin moves individually. They can go all the way down, all the way up like so, drawn right there. Then they can swivel on a ball joint like that. Better to show you the front ones. They can swivel, they can move all around, full articulation on each and every one, and every single one is linked within this one big chain that comes out to this part right here that attaches to his shoulders when you're assembling the entire figure. And of course you have these parts right here at the end, and they're actually really sharp. They're these pretty sharp, how do I say it? Things. There's really sharp needle things. So, and the coffins have really nice detail. They have a picture of an angel holding a cross just like in the game, and has a really nice metallic sheen to it. Looks really nice. It's really big. It just looks nice. So we showed you everything that this figure has to offer. Now we're going to put it all together into one. So we're going to go ahead and put on Thanatos. We're going to start by plugging these into the back, like so. We're going to bend it forward just a little bit. So there he is right there. Let's get that in the frame. And after that, you might want to bend them forward so you can see what you're doing. Attach this right there. Plug in these right there. And then you can go ahead and... These parts are actually pretty hard, and I'm really worried that I'm going to break them one day, because it's a really slippery sort of, if you mess up, it's broken sort of thing. And as you can see, I'm already just slipping and dropping everything. It's really hard to get. I even saw one guy review this to the point where when he reviewed it, he didn't even bother to put these on because they were pretty hard. But I put them on because I want to show you the entire figure and show you everything that you need to see about him. So, still struggling to get these on. Another complaint of mine, those are pretty hard to get on. So, this is D-Art's Thanatos. We're going to put his sword in because it's Thanatos. So, again, be really careful and fragile with the thing. I don't want it to break, but you can situate the coffins. You can get them in sort of a flying position. Let's see, you can open his mouth. Like, that's a pretty cool pose right there. So you can have sort of that look, like he's sort of going to stab. Maybe have him hold the blade like that. That looks pretty cool. Or maybe you can have him actually standing on the stand itself, right here. And maybe widen these out a little bit. Maybe have him sort of screeching in agony or something like that. So that looks pretty cool too. Pretty much, it's Thanatos. You really can't complain. He has pretty much all the articulation that you need. You get everything that you need out of this figure. One thing I'm going to say is that a lot of people complain that with this figure, there's no playability. You cannot play with it at all. It's strictly to the stand, but I strictly agree with that. Or disagree, I should say. A lot of people say that it's stuck to the stand, that's it, that's final, it's not going to be able to move. But I say, if you do wish to play with this, just detach it from the stand and use this part as sort of a hold. And then you can sort of, pretend he's like swiping around and slaying some shadows or something like that. So I think that there is some playability into this, not a lot, but there is. So definitely look forward to that if you've seen reviews of people saying that there's no playability. So that's it for the figure. Now we're going to show you the box. Box is one of my favorite boxes that I've ever gotten with any figure LEGO set ever. So it says Persona 3 and that's Japanese for Thanatos right there. You have a full picture of Thanatos right there, really nice. And I don't know if you'll be able to see, but you can see it right there. All the blue on this box has a really nice metallic sheen to it. And it just looks great. On the back you have Thanatos and some of the poses that you can pose him in. Some more random Japanese text. There's the rest of Thanatos right there. Window right here says Persona 3. Window right there has Thanatos and it says D-Arts. Then they have a window right there. So that's it for D-Arts Thanatos. For around 55 bucks, I think this is worth it if you really like Persona. If you like Thanatos, if you like Persona, this is pretty much a must-have. The price isn't that expensive, and at first I didn't know what to buy. I was about to buy Rebotech Gurren Lagann, but instead I bought this just because it looks bigger. I love Persona. I love Thanatos. He's my favorite Persona, and just the whole thing looks really nice. And it may come with a few accessories, but the accessories it does come with are pretty good, and they're what you would expect. You get everything that you need for a well put together Thanatos. Well, we'll have more Big Zam reviews later, but this is just our very first review. Sorry for the bad quality of the camera. Hopefully we'll get a better camera soon. I really hope you like this figure review. I really hope you like Persona, and I hope you watch some of our later reviews. So, next up, we might do some LEGO mocks, maybe some Persona stuff. I'm not sure, but we'll definitely be back, and I hope you stay tuned to Big Zam Reviews. Please come back and watch some more. We'll see you later.